Good morning, WellSprings. It was on Friday evening when I got word, just after I had concluded recording the message that you'll see in a few minutes. It was on Friday evening that we all got the news that Ruth Bader Ginsburg had died. I am, like so many of us this morning, in mourning. And I am, like so many of us, wondering about as well, what now, what next for the future and well-being of this country, especially calling to mind those people living within this country whose rights are most likely to be denied or violated. Because it was for this commitment of wider justice and compassion and belonging that Ruth Bader Ginsburg's life drew its deepest meaning. As a person, as an attorney, as a justice on the Supreme Court. It was these qualities that she upheld and promoted that are so deeply aligned with our own Unitarian Universalist traditions. These qualities also given voice to from within Judaism, the tradition that raised me and the tradition from which Justice Ginsburg came. From the prophet Micah, who poses the question, and what is required of us? And the answer, to do justice, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. Her deep and steadfast and strong humility grounded in a profound sense of confidence of what she was called to. Her mercy, her compassion, and her deep and abiding commitment to justice. These things are now given into our hands to carry forward as she has come to the end of her journey through this life. It is in some ways terribly sad and in some ways terribly fitting that she, the first Jewish woman to serve on the Supreme Court, would come to the end of her life on the first night of Rosh Hashanah, the beginning of the Jewish New Year, the start of the High Holy Days, the most sacred time in the Jewish calendar of the year, when the tradition poses the image, the invitation to recognize that during this time the book of life opens, and we are invited to do the kind of discernment that allows us to see if our name is written within that book of life. And I think we can say with confidence that literally or metaphorically, Ruth Bader Ginsburg's life is fully inscribed in that book of life. There is, there is within Judaism the Mourner's Kaddish, the prayer that we say for the dead. I grew up saying this prayer, and I have recited it for a whole host of people over the years who have been so dear to me. And for some of you, these words might be familiar. For some of you, they may not be familiar at all. I will offer them in the original language today for Justice Ginsburg, for Ruth Bader Ginsburg, for RBG. And just let me say one thing. The interesting thing about the Mourner's Kaddish is that it does not mention death at all in its translation. Rather, it is a call, it is an aspiration to a new creation. A creation that will exist fully for every single one of us. It is so fitting and so right now to offer this Mourner's Kaddish for the life, for the gifts, for the service of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah ve'alma Divrach Hirute v'yamlich malchute b'chayechon uvyomechon uvhaye dekol beit Yisrael be'agala uvizman kariv v'yamru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah mivarach le'alam ulmei almaya Yitbarach v'yishtabah V'yit pa'ar, v'yit raman, v'yit naseh, v'yit hadar, v'yit haleh, v'yit halal, shemei d'kudsha, birchu leila min kol berachata v'shirata tushbechata nehemata de'amiran ba'alma v'yamru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'yahim aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'yamru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'yamru amen.